don't need you or your brand new Benz or your bougie friends.
Capitalism, no, Babylon must go. Take jails to privatize the care of children and water rights. Don't care about the earth we fight. Capitalism must go. Capitalism, Babylon must. Capitalism, no, Babylon must go. One more time. Capitalism, no, Babylon must go. They talk about inequality just for them, not you and me. They want to put black people last. The white money never fast. Capitalism, Babylon must go. Yes, capitalism, Babylon must go. They want to make a special diet to make the poor suffer all the while. They won't raise the rates. They take all the money for the big banks that hate. Capitalism, no, Babylon must. They make these to privatize the care of children and water rights. Destroy the nuclear waste and put it in 6 nation lakes. Capitalism, Babylon must. That's right. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? That's it, it's true. Where's the beef? That's true. Is it true this man beats his wife? Is it true he comes from a millionaire family and pretended he was like a blue-collar worker? Is it true he lied? Yeah. Is it true his family's rich and they own this graphic company? Is it true? But then before he was married, they never said that. But as soon as after he was married, then I found out that's who he was. Look at him. This is what they look like. This is what they watch them. Watch them. They're all over. Look out for them. It's a song called Ain't Got No Money. I have to say, as a musician, this is often true. Well, I ain't got no money. I can't buy no girl. My backbone and navel kinda doing the belly rub. Just a rub-a-dub, baby, you know what I'm talking about? After all my work, I think food and shelter should come my way on a regular basis. You know you might get sick, now the doctors they can't come. Health care's been cut back, we can't get none. After all, what'd you say? You can't get your special diet? Your working days, that's right. I really think a little something got to come my way. Now if anybody asks you, the people to sell, you tell them where to go, they can go straight to hell. After all our working days, we got a right to eat and a place to stay. I think a little something got to come our way. My sister was sick, doctor can't come. They want money now for the private song. After all my working days, I really think a little something got to come my way.
Dwight Duncan is speaking, the Minister of Provincial Finance, the man with the power to raise the rates. What do we want to tell him? Raise the rates! Raise the rates! Raise the rates! He can't hear you! Raise the rates! So first up, we're going to have John Clark from the Ontario Coalition Against Poverty to speak.
When we organised this rally, we were not aware of the fact that the Finance Minister, Dwight Duncan, was going to be addressing a crowd of corporate lackeys in the Sheraton Centre at this particular moment. And we thought it was too good an opportunity to pass up, to come over here briefly to pay our respects to that august gentleman. He is actually addressing something called the Economic Club of Canada. And to get a prime location seat to hear the Finance Minister pontificate in the Dominion Ballroom of the Sheraton Centre cost over $1,000. So there are people listening to the Finance Minister today who are paying more for a bloody table than people get to live on for a month on social assistance in this province. That is the reality. We need, in fact, to build in this province a common front of resistance against austerity, whether it takes the form of Liberals or Tories. We need to build a movement that is ready to challenge them. Let's understand something about social assistance, is they provide anything at all to people for one reason and one reason only. They realise that the consequences of abandoning people to the streets and to hunger would lead to such a level of social unrest that they would have a problem on their hands. April the 3rd, 1935, there was a march on the Ontario legislature by the unemployed from throughout this city. And they were fighting against a whole series of vicious cuts that had been imposed on their relief, including the cutting of a program that was called the Special Diet. That was in 1935. People were fighting for the right to eat and the right to be housed in 1935, and I can tell you they fought with incredible enthusiasm. They organised in this city a movement that was so powerful, that was so strong, that could mobilise so many thousands of people that the authorities had to take it into account. And they were prepared to stand their ground. In 1935 they marched under a banner. It said, "United we eat, divided we starve." We're carrying a banner saying that today to remind us of the struggles that have taken place and the struggles that are going to happen. Understand something. Austerity is not going to be peaceful. Making people hungry and poor is not going to be peaceful. The poor are going to fight back, and the fight back begins today. Thank you very much.
My name is Ann Abbott, and I'm a member of OCAP and Damn 2025. I've WRIT written a speech, WHI, which am my CA, which my communication assistant at WI will NO now read. The provincial budget, which was delivered by Dwight Duncan on March 29th, 2011, did absolutely nothing for poor people in Ontario who rely upon the already ridiculously meager amounts from ODSP and OW. Food prices are skyrocketing, and energy and transportation costs keep rising. The budget's 1% increase to OW and ODSP is both insulting and demeaning. We need more to live, thrive, and feed our families on than a mere 1%. What a slap in the face. But there's another injustice I want to talk about today, and that's the cutting of the special diet money. Back in December 2010, just before Christmas, the government magnanimously announced that it would, quote, save the special diet. Yeah, right. What they meant is they'd cut the much-needed program and have everybody on ODSP and OW reapply. The cunning bastards knew what they were doing. They knew that this would cause major difficulties for people, which would inevitably slow down the system while weeding out some of the applicants who still need and deserve that money in order to survive. But we're people just like anyone else in this country, and as such, we deserve to have the same rights. The right to have enough money so that we don't have to be forced to choose between paying rent and eating. The right to have enough money to buy nutritious food so we can remain healthy and thrive. Most important, we deserve the right to receive enough respect from our government to be assured that the money, which is vital to our very existence, will never suddenly be cut. Thank you.
From the Hamilton Campaign for Adequate Welfare and Disability Benefits, who came all the way here today to speak. First up is Michelle.
We have gathered here today to let the powers to be know that we are not going away, and we will continue to fight for dignity and justice. We all want you to know that globalization and the neoliberal policies that have been imposed on us by nameless and faceless CEOs and right-wing think tanks, which affect the poor, public sector workers, the working poor, the disabled, foreign workers, and new immigrants, will no longer divide us, but bring us together as we all fight for our families and the future of our children and grandchildren. We inform people to disregard the myths that mainstream media perpetuates to criminalize not only the poor, but now all workers who fought to organize for a better standard of living while limiting non-unionized workers' ability to organize.
As a single mother, I struggle to raise my child and I fear for my child's future. I will not stop speaking out, and I know that together we can change things for the betterment of all. We can empower each other so that the many can become one voice. The first step is to be informed, to look beyond the 10-second soundbites that are pushed at us and learn about the real issues that affect us all. There is power when we join together to fight for justice. Please join us in solidarity for true dignity and justice. Thank you.
Up next is Jane Finch, Action Against Poverty. We're asking Butterfly to come up and speak. Jane Finch has been doing a tremendous amount of anti-poverty work.
Jane Finch is here! No man's land! Make some noise, guys! Women moving forward!
Go for Maury!
ANC! Resident Task Force! Top of our community activities! And Jane Finch, Action Against Poverty. My name is Butterfly, and I've been a lifetime member of the Jane Finch community, as well as a resident and member of JFAP. Thank you so much for you all coming out today, and we need to fight back. Our community's been dealing with unfair treatment with welfare, special diet cuts are atrocious when we're living below the poverty line by 55%. This isn't just, and we need to fight back. The women I'm working with are single mothers with so much resiliency, and I'm so proud that they're here today. We're here to make noise, and we're here to fight back. Go Toronto!
Raise the rates. The supermarket shelves loom above our heads. The shadows of Mike Harris that never left. The empty lies of the liberal government who told us our children will be fed. But still, our pockets are bled, bled, bled. We gave our votes in exchange for daily bread. They took the power with a smile and then fled.
Supermarkets are given tax breaks, but we're still hungry, fighting your mistakes, fighting for a life of dignity, for children to grow up healthy, not starving, not scrambling for the scraps that fall from your table of greed, the fat lies on which you feed. Your belly's too full to care for those in need. We asked for food and security, you gave us police brutality. Hunger makes a thief, but a real thief makes money. Put a uniform on a man, tell him to guard the honey.
Bail out the banks who robbed us of our livelihood. Send the killers in to control the neighborhood. Tell the rich man we are evil, but they are good. It's our fault that we are poor. Just carry on, fatty. Keep asking for more. Live off the backs of your own people. Pay lawyers to pass laws, making our lives illegal. The safety net was just a fucking lie. These politicians are deaf. the people's cry.
NDP, liberals and Tories come, seeking their succulent capitalism come. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer, so can the PLC, this is your eviction order. The gloves are off your neoliberal wet dream, the rich laugh and the poor scream. Raise the rates, treat us with dignity, give us the means to survive. Our bellies are hungry, but we still got pride. We'll top your economy of inequality. The inner colony doing the job from the inside, riding the waves on the rebel's tide.
Al Jazeera tells no lies, read the script, open your eyes. Today we are hungry, but tomorrow we rise.
Let's hear it for No Man's Land. For 1 minute, if folks don't know, Dudley Laws passed away last week. He was a tremendous organizer and a founder of the Black Action Defense Committee, and so if we could just take a moment to recognize him and his contribution to this city. They are a grade 7 and 8 math class from City View Alternative. And very shortly we're going to be heading over to watch them do a performance about Rob Ford's Gravy Train.
So each chair represents 10% of the wealth. Each person represents 10% of the population. Canada, 1970.
Canada, in the year 1970, the top 10% of adults own 53% of all private wealth.
He's telling them to get off the seats, man.
The third wealthiest 10% has 12% of the private wealth.
Maybe you should stop the card.
The last 70% of people fit the final 2 chairs. Let's move forward to Ontario in 1989. The top 10% of adults now have 60% of the private wealth. The next 10% of people own 15% of the private wealth. The remaining 80% of people must fit in the next 2.5 chairs. It's time to index social assistance rates to inflation and bring back the special diet allowance. Raise the rates! 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 Make the rich pay! Stop the war on the poor! Make the rich pay! Stop the war on the poor! Make the rich pay! Stop the war on the poor! Make the rich pay!
services. These are the people that are responsible for regulating poverty. They're the people that are responsible for cutting the special diet. They're the people that are responsible for making sure that poor people in this province cannot pay the rent and eat at the same time. What do we want to say to them? Raise the rates! Raise the rates! Raise the rates! Raise the rates! I also want to make sure that they know and that everyone here knows that right now in Kitchener and Kingston, people are also protesting against the cut in the special diet and demanding a raise in the rates. Patty to speak, who's a member of the Ontario Council of Hospital Unions. CUPE has been a huge support to the Raise the Rates campaign. We can't say enough how important CUPE has been to building this struggle and building solidarity.
Brothers and sisters, I have to say you guys give me hope. I have never been more proud than this moment to be here with you today to stand up and fight against the atrocities against our poorest members of this country. The country that is supposed to be the greatest place to live, and we have people who cannot afford groceries and rent at the same time. Shame! I want to tell you I had a speech prepared, and that all went out the window this morning when my best friend phoned me. She's a social assistance recipient. She called me this morning to let me know she got her eviction notice last night. She has nowhere to live. She cannot find a place to live on under $600 a month. She will not have a place to live. She's thinking about moving into a shelter. And I want to know what Dwight Duncan thinks about that while he's sitting in the Sheraton eating God knows what for lunch. Yeah. I have to tell you, I cried with her this morning because it brought back some memories for me. I might be a hospital worker now, but I was a welfare recipient too for a long time, and I had to leave my home because I couldn't afford the rent. I had no food to eat. Thank God I had no children to feed. I don't know how people can, in any conscious mind, think that anybody can survive on $592 a month. You can't even get a room for that kind of money. I want to tell you that the Ontario Council of Hospital Unions and CUPE are with you each and every day. Every time you hit the streets, we're going to be there. We're tired of struggling. We deserve the right to health care, to food, to shelter, to live in dignity.
Up next we have Pierre, from Under Pressure in Ottawa. He's also a CUPE 1281 member.
Hey, my name is Pierre. I'm with Under Pressure Coalition Against Poverty in Ottawa. We're an anti-poverty and anti-capitalist organization, and we're proud members of the Raise the Rates campaign. I am part of the common sense revolution generation. A generation that's had to make choices between rent and food, between bills and winter coats. We're a generation that learned to struggle through massive cuts to welfare services, and from Dudley George and Kimberly Rogers. We've learned to survive in welfare offices and in food banks. We've learned to fight in the days of action and the massive fight back organized by OCAP, the Ontario Common Front, and union locals who took the fight directly to those responsible. We've supported the struggle of our allies, from Palestine to Tyendinaga. Last April, a year ago exactly, we marched and we came to this exact office to demand a raise in welfare rates. This summer, we fought alongside tens of thousands of our allies against the austerity measures of the G20, against anti-immigration governments, against governments who would rather see us in precarious work conditions than on the picket line. And we're here again today not because we want to, but because we don't have a choice. For us, losing this fight is not an option.
Our next speaker is Gary Kinsman, a longtime anti-poverty organizer that came all the way from Sudbury for today.
Sudbury is also where Kimberly Rogers died. Where the Mike Harris government basically sentenced someone living in poverty to death because they violated rules that previously were entirely legal around getting Ontario Works and student support at the same time. And we still remember Kimberly Rogers, and we still need to remember what happened to her when we fight against these cruel, anti-poor, anti-human governments. I want to add in just two things about what's going on in Sudbury. In Sudbury, poverty impacts on Indigenous people in particular. And it's really important for us to talk about how colonization and racism and poverty come together in the experiences of Indigenous people, and we need to recognize that, and we also need to recognize that we are standing right now on Indigenous land, and we need to recognize the struggles of Indigenous people. Final thing I want to talk about is that in Sudbury right now, there's a major social cleansing operation going on against poor and homeless people who are being denied access to the downtown mall, where many of these agencies serving people living in poverty are located. There are also many people living in poverty are even being barred from the mission and from the soup kitchen run by the Catholic Church. So there's all sorts of problems that people living in poverty are facing. In Sudbury, they've made it impossible for people in the middle of the winter, when there's lots of homeless people, to even sleep under the bridges at night. So they have to sleep out in the open cold. This is horrific, and we need to oppose it. And let's fuck this language of poverty reduction that the provincial government is involved in. We're not interested in reducing poverty. We're interested in ending poverty and ending all of those people who want to keep us living in poverty. Thanks a lot.
The speaker today is Lisa Schofield from the Ontario Coalition Against Poverty.
You know, this has been a long struggle, the special diet, the fight for the special diet, and to fight to raise social assistance rates. 16 long years of this struggle. But it's amazing that people have come out and that we are fighting back and that we're here today in front of this ministry who is responsible for keeping people poor. And that this is part of what we do. This is part of what, as Pete has said, what we need to be doing every single day. Disrupting business as usual of these sorts of institutions. And of when Dwight Duncan thinks that he can have some sort of special event down at the Sheraton Hotel with rich bankers, that we are there in his face and we are disrupting that event as well. So we started out at City Hall today, not as a coincidence, but to make the link to what's going on the city level with Rob Ford as our new unfortunate mayor of the City of Toronto. But on the city level, we are seeing that Rob Ford is going after public sector workers, going after our friends in QP Local 416, looking towards privatization, and this is a total and utter shame. And we will stand in solidarity with those QP workers as they fight back against Ford and this privatization push. We know that right now, food bank relying on food banks is up 28% since the beginning of the economic crisis. More people are relying on food banks because they do not have enough money to survive. 400,000 people a month in Ontario rely on food banks, and this is a shame. I want to talk about what fighting back means in this age of austerity, in this age of social cutbacks. What being part of an organization like OCAP means right now. Being part of the Ontario Coalition Against Poverty. And people are here today with sign-up sheets. If you want to join OCAP, if you want to join this campaign, please sign up to the list. And the special diet fight, as I said, it was long and it was hard, but we fought hard in that, and we won $200 million for people in the province of Ontario through the special diet. But when you grow up in poverty, when this is your reality, you're told that it's the individual problem. It's your fault. You know, why don't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get a job, you know, make things better, work for yourself, do something. So you internalize that. You internalize that shame of what it means to be poor. You internalize that feeling that this is your fault. It's an individual problem. I just want to say that fighting back, being part of OCAP means to me, is breaking out of that isolation. There is a system that creates poverty. That system is unjust. The Rob Fords, the Mike Harrises, the Dwight Duncans of this world, they are rich because we are poor. And what we are doing here today is fighting for an equal share in the wealth of this society. And that is just and that is right. We don't do this by asking for charity out of the powers that be, to wake up one day and realize that people are suffering. The only power that we have is coming together in spaces like this. The only power that we have as poor people is collective action. So every single one
one of you here today, you join the Raise the Rates campaign, you join an organization like OCAP or Jane Finch Action Against Poverty or the Hamilton Campaign for Adequate Welfare and Disability Benefits, and we build this fight back, and we are in their faces every step of the way. Thank you everybody for coming out.
No capitalist. I keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the freedom land. All power to the people.